Welcome to Wayne's World Garage. We're at the sawmill again today. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. We've been sawing a lot of lumber and the sawmill is working really, really well. Thanks a lot to Tom, one of the newer guys here, tractor club guy, who's helping sharpen the saw. We're using the steel bits instead of the carbide bits, and he files them every couple weeks once they get dull. And it's made a huge difference. The other thing is we haven't hit any metal yet. I shouldn't say anything, we'll probably hit some metal today. But the saw is working well. Today, our goal here is we need to cut 20 2x8s for Ranger Jeff. What's Ranger Jeff going to use 2x8s for? I don't know. Somebody dumped off some big logs outside. Maybe we'll load some of those up. We've got a bunch of poplar at home. I can't quite get them out of the woods. It's been so doggone wet. My neighbor, Mr. Mitch, said, look, we've got this big tree that came down. Man, I looked at it last night. It's a 4-foot diameter tree. I don't know if we want to deal with that. Certainly not with this 48-inch blade. But maybe it's a good excuse to get the 56-inch blade fixed, and then we can pencil that guy down. Anyway, enjoy the show. Thank you guys so much for all the work you've done. Thank you for the comments. We appreciate it. And thanks especially to Frickin' Jeep for all his advice and help. He's been here several times. He's a great coach, great mentor, and he's teaching us how to do a lot of these things. So take care, enjoy the show, and subscribe. That's important. So what is Wayne-O doing here? We've learned our lesson. Pete's getting ready to put this big red oak log on here. It's big, it's fat at one end, skinny at the other end, and they have a tendency to push the carriage off the tracks. So we're going to put some straps on it and we'll strap it down. And you'll see, we drop this log on here. I'm glad we've got it strapped down. It works well. We've learned our lesson from last year, that's for sure. Do you have a chalk, Alan? A chalk? Hold on.
I think it's not a roll.
Okay. Yeah, yep. Not that big. It's only 24 inches down this end.
24?
Yeah, it's not big. Is yours bigger?
Yeah, I think it's wider than here.
Okay.
So we're gonna need Pete's out the tennis.
Yeah.
32.
So we got the butt end of the log down here.
Yeah.
32. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna need. Hey, Pete.
This is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is a big log, and Pete's gonna push this log onto the carriage. He does a pretty good job of it. It doesn't roll very well. I've already cut some huge branches off of it, stubs, or what do you want to call them? Male appendages, I think it's what John Clark calls them. We've cut those off. Fortunately, we strapped down the carriage so when it goes bang, it doesn't push it off. This would have knocked it off the carriage otherwise. And partly because there's a lot of weight hanging out the back because you have to push the carriage all the way to the back. But watch carefully, you'll see we do get it on there. Pete does a good job. The strap does its job. Memo to everyone, when you're putting big logs on, strap the carriage down. We'll make no doubt about it, this log is big and it's heavy. And just pulling on the setworks is difficult. The mistake, though, I made is we didn't put oil down on the bottom of the knees at first. And Alan went and did that partway through this job, and this thing moved a whole lot easier. Memo to everybody, and Doug was always doing it, spray some oil on these and it'll rotate nicely. Unfortunately, as you can see, this log is not very round, and I've already cut off lots of pieces out to try to make it a little bit rounder. So we're going to end up penciling this thing down. It's a hassle, and we spend all morning fighting this log, and frankly, we don't get a lot of boards out of it. But we turn it a little bit at a time, saw it, turn it a little bit at a time. Remember, the fat end of this log is 32-inch diameter. Our saw blade is 48 inches. A 48-inch diameter saw blade will do about a 21-inch cut. So we've got almost a foot extra. Unfortunately, you can't see this very well because the battery in the other camera died, and I'm only taking video from one direction. My bad. The good news is we're all learning, and Matt and Alan are doing a really good job of rolling this thing. We're realizing, though, we don't want to roll it the whole way, but look at how unstable this log is. It's like it's not round. Where'd this log come from anyway? But you probably can't see it well here because the battery ran out in the other camera. But I'm standing down the other end trying to hold the can hook there so that this thing doesn't roll back. Because if it rolls back, it could fall on somebody's toes, and that would not be a good thing. We ended up putting a chock underneath it right on the carriage, and the chock sort of held it in place. But look at this log, and I've got one tiny cut in it. It's like it's flat on one side. Maybe this thing would have been better off as firewood. I don't know. We'll see. This is only the second cut in this log, and you can see, man, how much work have we put into this thing already? But look at the size of this thing, and it's the most unround log I've ever seen. We've got to pencil it down, basically sharpen it like a pencil, turning a little bit at a time until we can get it so it will fit on the 48-inch diameter saw blade, which cuts like 21 inches or something like that. But as you can see, this log is very oblong shaped, especially at the fat end. But Matt, Alan, everyone's doing a good job. We're learning here, and we've done it before. We're smart enough not to take big cuts off. Just a little cut, roll, little cut, roll. The other thing, we're super excited because this log roller is working fabulously. We're pretty pleased that we put this thing up.
Yeah, we probably need to go back a little bit more if you want to.
Ideally, we'd roll this guy just like an eighth of a turn or something like that and start sawing it. But that's not going to happen because look at this. And this bottom side is flat naturally. So we're going to roll it a bit more and just try and whittle it down. You can see it's oblong shaped at this end. So we've got to keep sawing this thing down until we can get it to fit on the saw. So we're going to roll it a little bit more because we can't leave it like that. I mean, look at that. So what we're going to do is roll it a little bit more, try and get the fat side out. And it's just not, this is probably the hardest log we've sawn in a very long time. All right, guys, don't get too mad at me. Here's more of this sappy-ass YouTube music. It's free, but I looked at buying some music. Some of it's $10 a track. That's horrible too. It's worse than this. Some of it's $30 a track. Some of it's $100 a track. You gotta be kidding me. Especially when I make $3 or $4 on a video on a good one. Anyway, enjoy the music. I sped this up 1,500% just because rolling this thing is boring. Well, so much for the music. Would you rather have me sing? If I sing at church, everybody leaves. I think I'm not going to sing. But we're finally getting this guy whittled down to something manageable. The goal here is to get 8-inch cants. So when we're sawing boards, we can get 2x8s out of it. And we're going to get 2 nice cants out of this thing. Well, there's the first cant, sawed almost all the way through. And, shockingly, I didn't saw it too far. If I sawed it a little bit more, the thing's going to fall off and hit somebody in the toe. But it worked out all right. We didn't have to shove this thing back by hand. Well, there we go. There's the 8-inch cant. Let's get making some 2x8s. But as you understand, how many 2x8s are you going to get out of this thing? It's probably only 12 inches, maybe 14 inches. So all total, we get maybe a dozen, maybe 14 2x8s out of this whole log. But we'll start sawing, and we'll get some 2x8s for Ranger Jeff. Then we'll put the next cant on there, and we'll keep on sawing. We're making 2x8s. remember when we started this log, the skinny end was 24 inches, the fat end was 32 inches. So while you may think, man, these guys are just wasting a ton of wood, this log was almost triangular shaped. You know, starting at 24 inches, every cut we make, we lose 1/4 of an inch. And we're trying to get 2x10s. So 2 inches thick. If we get 10 of them, that's 20 inches. So, and we do. We ended up getting maybe 12 of these guys, 13 of them. Not as many as I would like. There's a lot of waste, but there's a huge amount of waste when the butt end, fat end of the tree, is so big. And of course, they're trying to get rid of the tree, so they cut it close to the base. Thank you everyone for watching this video. This was by far one of the worst logs we've ever sawn. It was also one of the hardest and heaviest. The tractor could barely pick it up, and it was only 8.5 foot long. Regardless, we got it done. It took a long time. Anyway, next week, I'll do a little bit better job, make sure both cameras are operating. It's kind of hard to see. This thing was way taller than our saw blade. The saw blade sticks up to maybe 20.5 inches, 21 inches. This thing was clearly a foot higher than that. So we had to whittle it down quite a bit. And as Dr. John said, AKA frickin' Jeep, just whittle it down a little bit at a time, eighth of a turn at a time, eighth of a turn. That's a great idea. That's what we tried to do. Although, since this log was oblong shaped, it wasn't exactly round, we couldn't quite roll it as well as we wanted to. Thank goodness we had the log roller. The log roller did a great job, and Alan and Matt are figuring out how to use it pretty well. We make sure we chalk it every time, and somebody's there to make so it doesn't roll back on us. Anyway, take care. Have a great day. Thank you.